Radio Free Tatooine presents Galactic War Report, a Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes podcast.
Boshuda, fellow Holotable hustlers, you're tuned into Galactic War Report, a Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes podcast that's better than some and worse than others. I'm Sean, a.k.a. the other Sean, and sitting across the holotable from me is Josh, a.k.a. the Golden Pop-Tart.
It seems like every other time that we record, there's some type of, like, winter storm or ice or something.
No kidding.
It seems like every other week.
Yeah, we're supposed to get an ice storm tonight as we record. The kids will be home from school, if that gets bad enough, and I got stuff I need to do at work. Like, I can't have the kids. Their trampoline is literally like 10 feet from my desk. I can't have that. Maybe that goes outside.
Yeah, I mean, especially in the ice storm. I mean, I bet that'd be fun to jump out there in that, right?
Yeah. Give them something to think about. Yeah, well, this is the second week in a row that we've had a show.
I mean,
look at us.
I know, we deserve a cookie or something. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's another crazy week, though. It's kind of weird. I mentioned before that, like, we missed some time, and it was perfect because not that much happened. Well, thank goodness we didn't miss this week.
I know.
Quite a bit has happened. We've got new kits for Jocasta.
Mm-hmm.
No, out of left field.
Right?
Completely out of left field.
Whoever said that actually was going to happen, I mean, there's no way you're being truthful. I mean, because there's no way.
And then the new Hunter as well for the new Bad Batch team is they're both in game already as we speak. So pretty exciting time for Galaxy of Heroes. We knew about Hunter, like I said, Jocasta. We're going to spend some time on that. There's a couple some lightspeed bundle talk that is kind of exciting as well for some players. And all that and more. But first, let's celebrate some Blurf days. All right. I'm going to a Blurf Day party this weekend.
Nice.
We're bowling.
Nice.
We're going to bowl. And I really look forward to that. I know we're in the Midwest, but I'm a terrible bowler. Like, everyone here is just supposed to know how to bowl.
Oh, I didn't realize that for Midwesterns. We're just good at bowling?
Awful. It seems like everyone else at the alley is.
I mean, I was in a bowling.
Bad.
I was in a bowling league once, so I guess I can understand.
The thing is, like, I'm strong enough. Like, I can use a decent-sized bowling ball. I can't do, even with, like, lighter bowling balls, I can't do the curve. It doesn't make sense in my head. I can't. So I just straight shoot down there and usually get a split, and then, we deal with that. Anyways, Blurf Day time. We've got a few this week. All right, on the 8th is this releases. No, this releases on the 7th. But on the 8th, Saturday, is Emperor's Shuttle 6 years ago. And then Stap 1 year ago.
Oh, yeah.
So, double Blurf Day. We love to see that. This is about the time, too. We're going to see a lot. Because CG always takes that little, like, holiday break. And then they get back in the office. And it takes a while to ramp things up. And then early February, they just start dropping characters like crazy. So the very next day, on the 9th, we've got Tusken Chieftain, 2 years old. And then the very next day, we've got Ninth Sister, 3 years
Jeez.
old. And this one hurts, all right? Because on the 11th, we have Grandmaster Yoda, the first legendary character in the game. 9 years ago.
Wow.
Like, I look in the mirror and I see gray hairs and I see wrinkles forming and I feel old. But you tell me Grandmaster Yoda has been on my phone for 9 years? I am a dinosaur. Just unbelievable. He's still a great character.
Oh, yeah.
Like, fantastic. And then on the 12th, we have Radis, the ship, not the Admiral, from 2020. So that's 5 years. Jeez.
I mean, that's pretty crazy. I was actually thinking, okay, how long have I been playing now? And then how long have I been doing this podcast? Like it does feel like, man, time has gone by so fast.
What are we doing with our lives?
I know, right?
We're supposed to be, like, out there making money by now. That's how podcasting works, right?
Is it?
You do it long enough.
I just think it's just because we like to hear our own voice. I mean, that works for me. I mean,
you know, I love all of our patrons, and I seriously thank you to everyone who gives, who enjoys the content. This is turning into a fundraiser. Who enjoys the content that we do and supports us like that. That's amazing, because I'm cheap. So hats off to everyone who does that. But it's just, we get enough money to keep the website up, to keep all of the lights on and the sandcrawlers running, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're not banking off this. This is absolutely not our job, right? What cracks me up is I have a band that, I mean, it's an old band from like 20 years ago, right? But our music is all up on streaming platforms, and I was in there managing it, making sure everything was set correctly, because it's been forever since I looked at it. Here's how bad streaming platforms pay artists. In the, 2 years, I think, that we've been on streaming platforms, the three of us combined have made $5.13.
Wow.
And so I saw there was an issue with, one of the people had not agreed to royalty splits. And I was like, hey, so you're not included in this $5.13 yet because you didn't, whatever, something's not configured right. Let's fix it. In the meantime, I'll buy you a taco, and we're absolutely even.
There you go.
All right, speaking of events and tacos, like Taco Tuesdays, and I don't know. Let's take a look at this week's upcoming in-game events, brought to you by swgohevents.com. For a complete list of past, present, and future events, swgohevents.com is a universe of info in a galaxy of heroes. And this week doesn't look too bad. They're going to keep us at least a little busy. They're occupying us. On the 7th, as this launches, we've got a Jakku Omega battle. I guess that's not much. On the 8th, we have an assault battle, Forest Moon, Sim.
Mm-hmm.
Or, if you actually need to fight it, I'm sorry, that's actually hard. On the 9th, we've got a credit heist, always appreciated, as well as a territory war sign-up, number 363. I appreciate that a little bit less. On the 10th, we have an Omega battle on Coruscant, exciting, as well as Grand Arena sign-up for week 3 of season 62. This will be your last run with your Starkiller Datacron.
Mm-hmm. Even though,
go have fun, kids.
Starkiller is not doing wonderful against Rey right now, though. So, I mean...
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's, at least for me, at least. I'm 0 for 2 on that one, so...
Yeah.
But,
no, actually, I was looking at the data on that as I streamed earlier, and Seer is definitely the way to go right now. And that's normal. That's what we're used to, right? Is Seer, especially Seer with Starkiller and Malicos.
Oh yeah, that's great.
That's typically the answer. Right now, Malicos is enough. You give him that Kron, it works. But yeah, Starkiller, that used to always work, but now with Ezra in the picture,
it's weirdly enough, it's Ahsoka. Ahsoka is a beast. With her Kron.
That too.
I think before that, I think it was fine, but I mean, it's funny because that crowd's not doing wonderful for me, but it did really wonderful for these folks.
You know, I just noticed my opponent today had Galactic Legend Ahsoka, so I was a little scared. Like, I know there's counters, but I haven't had to mess with it much. So, you know, it's something to be cautious of. And his Rey team, or their Rey team, had Ezra on it. And I thought, I'm just now realizing, like,
Wow.
wouldn't you want that for Ahsoka? But I guess not.
Yeah.
Anyways, what else do we have? We have on the 12th, we have Fanatical Devotion Assault Battle. That's the Inquisitor one. That's a bit tougher. On the 13th, we have Defense of Dathomir. That's where you get your Mother Talzin shards and or Zetas, as well as a Territory War sign-up, number 364. That's a lot of Territory Wars for one guild to lose. Yeah. You know?
Right? I mean,
I feel like we've lost 362 of them, you know? Jeez. So, yeah, not a terrible week. We got a couple of assault battles in there. We got some good stuff. And we will, of course, still be wrapping up territory battles. Before we dive into this week's top stories, another quick shout-out to our fantastic patrons. That's all we're going to talk about
there you go,
today.
twice.
If you enjoy what we do for some reason and want to be part of our exclusive community, head over to patreon.com/Galactic War Report. It gets you into our Doth chats, which we had a great Doth chat tonight. Got to catch up with some folks. That's our weekly chat before we record on Wednesday nights. That we just get on Discord and chat it up. What do we talk about? Like comic books and
a little bit of everything. Yeah,
it's just silly. Well, I mean, with Jocasta New, you got to talk comics a little bit. But anyways, you get access to that, early episodes, extra parts of our Discord server where, like, weird stuff happens, and that's fun. So check it out, patreon.com/Galactic War Report. All right, punch it, Pop-Tart.
So we have a little bit of fun stuff before we get to our kits. Now, a funny part is with Jocasta, they decided, well, we like her so much, we're going to give her 2 kits. So really, we're going to go through 2, but one has a double. So we'll leave that meat and talk about the potatoes just a little bit here. So one really awesome update that came out with the update is we have a Cantina. Actually, being able to have shards on Cantina again is wonderful. So General Sedula, she's going to be on Cantina for you. So if you had a chance, well, and this is a couple days ago, so if you haven't done it already, then go do it now. But really nice to finally have one of those. I think that's going to be a nice win for us.
Yeah.
Now, when was the last one? It's been a couple days. I mean, was it... the only ones I can really remember is going to be for the Queen P there. Yeah, wasn't it Qui-Gon?
I think it was.
Might have been, so...
Yeah, there was one of the Gungans, too, like Tarpals.
Oh, yeah.
And, I think it was, maybe it was Qui-Gon. It was one of those Poncho Pal folks.
Feels good to kind of have one there. So, now, speaking of things that I guess feel good when you pay money for it, is going to be...
Still feels good.
Yeah, right? There you go. I mean, lightspeed bundles. Now, in the game, you actually have one available for you. Is going to be Chewie, and that's $24.99, and that's going to be Bounty Hunter. So there's a decent chunk. I think it's the second time this came around. Again,
I think so. Yeah.
To me, I think for you and I don't think it's going to be that crazy. But I do remember way back in the day trying to do that event without having a 7-star boss, and that was a tough one. So obviously, getting relics going to make it really easy as a whole. So. Now, a couple new ones that are in the data mine, so they're not actually out there announced yet, but it makes a lot of sense because with Reva getting her Blurf Day, it looks like we're going to have an Inquisitor pack. And this one gets all of them. It's not technically for Reva, but it's for Grand Inquisitor. So it does get you all of them at Relic 5. But here's the thing. Again, I'm not complaining, but it does seem like a pretty high number here. So $49.99 for that one. So... get out that checkbook for it. Now this next one, I'm not 100% sure why we did this, but again, it is available. So we have Boba Fett, Scion of Jango. You get to get a Relic 9, and only a Relic 9 Boba Fett, Scion of Jango for $39.99. That doesn't... I'm not sure if that's you pay money and you feel good about, So
yeah,
I mean,
yeah, I don't.
Now watch, there's some type of like they refresh this kit and it's going to be amazing. But so right now, like I said, you get I think it's going to be 6 or 7 bounty hunters for $24, which again is a really pretty decent good deal. The Inquisitors, again, it is something you definitely need for Reva. But again, $49 for it. And then lastly, I don't know why, but Boba Fett is going to be $39. So if you really desperately need that R6, even though, why R6? Why not R7? But
I don't know. That would bother me. Clearly, that kind of stuff bothers me. Acceptable relic levels are 3, 5, 7, 8, 9.
Ooh.
Those are the only acceptable relic levels to me.
I've actually moved up. Relic 3 is no longer acceptable for me.
Relic 3 is no longer acceptable?
Yeah, so again, for characters that matter. I mean...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for characters that kind of matter.
For me, for instance, like... I don't know, like... Jedi Consular.
Oh, yeah.
I get him into relics. I'll take him to 3. I don't care to take him any higher, but, like, 3 is my baseline. Because 3 can use Datacron, so.
I mean, if it's a 3 for me, most likely it was a lightspeed bundle.
Yeah, or a wreck. If there was a wreck that was 3, like Mob Enforcer, for instance.
Yeah.
We all had to take her to 3.
True. So yeah, that's really the biggest updates. Nothing too crazy out there. It's always interesting when they put out an update and they put an update for the characters that haven't been completely released yet, and they already have fixes and known issues. Okay, thank you. It's wonderful. So, all right. So let's go into the kit reveals. Now. Yeah. What do we want to do? Do you want to do
Let's do Hunter first.
I was gonna wonder. There you go.
And I love the reference. So they call him Hunter 2.
I know, I like that.
Do you know what that's from?
No, I don't.
The Hunter 2, it's like... it's a meme of like some old... I don't even remember what kind of chat it is, but there was an old chat where like someone was trolling someone and they said, hey, like if you type your password in here on our end, we just see asterisks. Like... check this out. I'll type my password and tell me what you see. And they type asterisks, and they're like, "Whoa, it worked!" So they get him to type his password, which is Hunter 2, and they're like, "Yeah, we just saw asterisks. See, here, I'll copy and paste it." And they send more asterisks to him, and it's like legendary. What's the guy's name?
I work in a line of
Azure Diamond was the user. God, it's so good.
I work in a business where, unfortunately, there's a lot of people getting swindled, and that's one of those ones where, right now, if you get something from Microsoft and all of a sudden they're like, oh my gosh, you need to pay us $1,200 because we accidentally gave you back too much money, it's not real. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't give your credit card information.
Oh, it's so good.
I'm going to start calling it Hunter 2 now. So
yeah, Hunter 2. Here, I'll send you a link. I found it on Know Your Meme. I'm going to put this link in the show description.
There you go. Well, you have to.
Because it needs to be there.
So we got Hunter 2, which is kind of interesting, is because I think obviously he was a leader the first time around, and now he's going to be a support. So it's kind of interesting how...
He was attacker last time.
Yeah, he was attacker. Right? So, I mean, it's kind of interesting how they're changing it. And it does make me feel like there has to be something coming for mercenaries. I mean, maybe the next raid will have mercenaries in there. Because it does seem like we got a ton of them coming in.
If they're doing a Zillow Beast thing, that could...
True. And maybe the Vanguard Jedis, right?
Yeah, Vanguard Jedi with mercenaries and I don't know, Ewoks or something stupid.
I know, right?
Ugnaughts.
Yes.
There are actually Ugnaughts now, I suppose, with Queel.
True.
Okay, so Hunter 2, where I lost his kit because I was busy Googling. Oh, there it is. So, let's just go through the artless kit reveal once again.
Why? Come on.
It's so sad. I don't need the fancy stuff. I just want Meathead to make something really, really stupid. Okay, basic is called DC-17 Blaster. Deal physical damage to target enemy and inflict speed down on them for 1 turn. During Hunter's turn, call a random Bad Batch ally, attacker ally to assist. And all attacker allies gain crit chance up for 1 turn. So attacker allies are what? Batcher and likely Crosshair?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
I believe, because Omega is also support, if I remember correctly. Yes, she is. And Batcher is attacker, yeah. And I assume Wrecker's going to be the tank.
I mean, you think so, yeah.
If target enemy is marked, all Bad Batch attacker allies gain 5% offense, stacking to a max of 50 until the end of the encounter, and have their defense reduced by 5%, stacking to a max of 50, which can't be resisted until the end of the encounter. Special 1 is pretty simple. Take a shot.
I know.
Cooldown of 2, and if no enemies are marked, inflict marked on target enemy for 2 turns, which can't be evaded or resisted. All Bad Batch allies gain offense up and protection up for 1 turn, 50%. Call all Bad Batch attacker allies to assist, dealing 30% less damage. Now, that marked is interesting when we think about Omega and her target practice mechanic. Being able to mark someone seems like that's gonna be particularly helpful to get around stupid taunts and
Yeah, definitely.
stealth and things of that nature.
So I'm thinking here, though, it's called Take a Shot, so maybe we have to make a drinking game out of this. So every time that you use this team, and every time he uses that ability, you have to take a shot.
It's kind of like the old Bad Batch team, because whenever I, in Grand Arena, would resort to having to use them, I'd take a shot. Like, things are that bad.
Right.
I mean, they were okay against Qui-Gon for a minute there, but that's about it. All right. Special 2 is called This Will Hurt. Cooldown of 30. Oh, that last one starts on cooldown, by the way. Oh, no, this one starts on cooldown. Cooldown 30. There we go. It's like BB-8 over here. Deal physical damage to target enemy equal to 100% of their max health. Not bad. Increase to 200% if they're marked, which can't be evaded. Shock all enemies for 2 turns, which can't be evaded, and inflict protection disruption on them for 2 turns, which can't be evaded or resisted. Bad Batch allies gain 100% defense penetration, stacking until the end of the encounter.
So this is the move that Omega is supposed to use her middle ability on, to where you can spam this. That's my guess, right? Because there's 30, if it's starting with a cooldown of 30. I mean, obviously, right now she's loving the Darth Nihilus.
Reduces it too, but yeah.
But is that something that really makes? I mean, so yeah, you're dealing physical damage.
20% health recovery received while that ally has 100% health. They reduce their cooldowns by 1. Yeah, that's going to play into it for sure.
Mm-hmm. I mean, definitely. I mean, they gain 100% defense penetration too. So I mean, the more that you do that, I mean, and if it's marked, like you said, if it's going to be coming around the taunt, wow, it's going to be coming around the taunt when she comes. Should be coming around the taunt when she. Sorry. Somebody said they wanted a song. There you go. That's the best that we got right now.
We've been working on that one a long time. Hope you like it.
Probably the 20s, right, when that came out? I mean...
Yeah.
So.
Oh man. Yeah. So cooldown of 30, but it's like annihilate, basically.
I mean, yeah.
100% max health, 200% if they're marked, which, let's face it, there's going to be someone marked. So, I mean, outside of someone who just has massive amounts of protection and low health, like the Gungans, this is going to level most characters.
Yeah.
Because also cooldown of 30, they've probably taken some damage to start with, right? And they may have some like mitigation or whatever, but we'll see. So first unique will help to reduce that cooldown a little bit. It's called Focused Cooperation. This is an Omicron for Territory Wars. At the start of the encounter, all Bad Batch allies gain 50% max protection. Whenever an enemy is marked, all Bad Batch allies recover 7% health. Whenever a marked enemy is damaged by a Bad Batch ally, if the ally with lowest turn meter is Bad Batch, which they should be, they gain speed up for 1 turn. Whenever marked expires on an enemy, inflict dazed and healing immunity on them for 1 turn. At the start of the marked enemy's turn, inflict offense down on them for 1 turn, which can't be evaded. And whenever a marked enemy is defeated, expose all enemies for 2 turns and reduce the cooldown of This Will Hurt by 5. So not huge, but it's... You knock somebody out, that 30 cooldown goes down by 5. Keep in mind, like you said, Omega is steady every time she does that move, reducing it a little as well. Or, potentially by 5.
Yeah.
So if Hunter has 15 or more stacks of target practice, he gains a bonus turn when marked expires on enemies. Whenever Hunter gains a stack of target practice, reduce the cooldown of This Will Hurt by 1. While Hunter has 40 or more stacks of Soldier of Fortune, that's the first time that's come up in Bad Batch, right?
No, isn't it the other one too? Doesn't she have it?
Oh, maybe she did. I don't remember. I think of that as a Balin Skull.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Yeah, I'm not sure actually.
While he has 40 or more stacks of Soldier of Fortune, enemies are inflicted with buff immunity for 1 turn whenever their buffs are dispelled. When a Bad Batch ally loses captive, reset the cooldown of This Will Hurt. Ooh, there it is. You save your friend, Hunter yeets somebody instantly as a support.
See, yes, it's a mercenary thing. So yeah, and it looks like this is. So I was just getting the one with Marak or Merrick or whatever how wrong I say his name, and they have it. Yeah.
So the other part of this, the Omicron bit for Territory Wars, is at the start of the encounter, Hunter has This Will Hurt available.
Wow.
Oh my god! When Hunter gains a stack of target practice, reduce This Will Hurt's cooldowns by 5. If there are no Galactic Legends, while a Bad Batch ally is captive, Bad Batch allies deal an additional instance of damage to the target on their turn. To target enemy on their turn. Whenever a marked enemy takes a turn, reduce their max health by 10%, stacking until the end of the encounter, excluding Galactic Legends. So, correct me if I'm wrong here, but this whole, like in Territory Wars, this is going to be a monster. He's turn 1, delete somebody, right? And massive damage, or, well, I guess percent health effects maybe, like Crew or Malik or someone like that might still have a chance against this, right? I don't know. But it doesn't super duper seem like Galactic Legends are excluded from any of this. Like, it looks like this is just going to do a boatload of damage to literally anything.
Yeah.
Granted, I'm looking at the... damage they receive is decreased by 30%, is baked into the Galactic Legend kits, but reduced by 30 still means you're doing like 140% of their health.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm thinking Leia might just get smacked by this. And that's only in Territory... Well, no, it's not only in Territory Wars, but it's only turn 1 in Territory Wars. But that's interesting.
A little bit. I mean, it does feel automatically. I mean, that's where... I mean, with Omega, it was kind of like, wow, this is a really nice kit, and it's a good character as a whole. I mean, I guess good character in general, but I mean, meaning like the kit itself.
Sure,
you can use it, and it's people are using it now, and I think with this,
all kinds of
this looks pretty good. I mean,
So the Omega and Batcher interactions are cool. You add in Hunter, and this really starts to take shape as a powerful offense.
Oh, yeah.
And he gives them all 50... I literally just burped into the microphone. I'm sorry. He gives them all 50% bonus protection at the start as well, right? Or health or protection. I don't remember. I mean, 50% max protection.
I'm looking forward to this.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Whew. All right, so second unique is the Soldier of Fortune. Whenever a marked enemy is damaged by a mercenary ally, Hunter gains a stack of Soldier of Fortune. Whenever marked is dispelled or expires, Hunter loses 5 stacks of Soldier of Fortune. Interesting. At the start of their turn, each mercenary ally gains 3% accuracy for each stack of Soldier of Fortune they have until the start of their next turn. It's really interesting. Him as a mercenary. Omega and Batcher are not mercenaries. So
yeah, that's what I was looking earlier, like thinking
a kind of half synergy here, because I assume the other two will probably be mercenaries.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Comment
I like that they're doing
Meathead, are
that.
you spying on me? How did you know my password? Yeah, this looks nuts. Now, take this. Okay, and we don't know anything about Crosshair and Wrecker's kits, but just imagine Wrecker is a pretty capable tank, and I mean, Crosshair's got to have some pretty high-powered offense, like single target damage, right? This looks like a team that could do some interesting things with Hunter's ability, and assuming that Crosshair has some decent damage. Now, Batcher assists all the time, doing decent damage as well. So it feels like single target, this could be a great Galactic Legend cleanup team, too. Like if there's just a Jabba left behind or just a Lord Vader or something, I could see this being kind of stupid for something like that. Stupid in a good way. I always mean
I don't know.
good. When
you said just Jabba, it just made me think of just Ken. So, I mean...
I'm just Jabba.
I'm just Ken.
Oh, I love it. Another comment. Why is the post title a string of asterisks?
Oh, jeez. That's good.
Oh, boy. That's one of my favorite memes. I love it. Okay, so that's Hunter 2. Man, I looked at the kit earlier, but now that we really chewed on it, I'm excited for this Bad Batch team. I think
it's going to be interesting.
Awesome. Jocasta's more exciting.
Yeah, I mean, she has a gun. I mean, she has a lightsaber gun.
If you would have told me to list out 50 characters they might put in this game, I'm going to be honest, I might have said Jocasta. I might. I like the character. I think I just like the character because the name is fun to say. Jocasta Nu. I don't know. Whatever. She's not a major character in the movies at all, right? But I never would have guessed that she would be anything like what her kit is.
I
Anything
know, right?
like what
Nothing.
her kick is. The number one thing is the most basic thing is that she is an attacker.
I know.
If you had told me the librarian from Attack of the Clones is going to be a conquest attacker, I'd say you clearly are stupid. But it turns out I am stupid because she is. I didn't know that she did all this in the comics, and I thought that I had read them all from back in the day, but maybe this was after I bowed out of comics. It was right around that time. She's got a gun that shoots lightsabers, y'all. That's what kind of librarian we're talking about.
I mean, that's just crazy. I mean, just when you think about that in general, I mean, it's just crazy. I mean,
it seems like something. I'm sorry. Go on.
I was gonna say, like, it just seems like it's gonna, like, when you shoot that, like, in the end, it's gonna hurt the lightsaber at some point, or it's gonna be like in Rick and Morty, where it just goes right straight down and it just goes away.
It's gone. Yeah,
it's just gone.
This seems like something that, like, if you were playing a tabletop RPG, like a Star Wars, I forget, like Rise of the Empire or Age of the Empire or whatever that was from a few years back. I could picture me sitting down as a game master, having everyone around the table. All right, so what are you? I'm like this Mon Calamari droid expert. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. That's a cool character. What are you? I'm big, strong Wookiee fighter guy. Awesome. What are you? I'm a Jedi librarian with a gun that shoots lightsabers. I'd say, get out of my house.
I know, right?
Get out. That's too ridiculous. All right, let's go through it. She's got 2 modes, right? She transforms. I guess we should talk about Jedi Vanguards for a second.
Yeah, a little bit.
That's a whole new... It's kind of like the mercenary thing. It's like a new designation that they made for this kit. And she's supposed to be a lifter for an upcoming legendary character, which definitely opens up the door to some speculation.
Yeah, a lot of it. I mean...
So it'll be, I guess, a Vanguard character. And Vanguard, the idea is this is like Guardians of the Jedi Temple. Not necessarily Jedi Temple Guardians, but people who were there on the council. Your Plo Koon, your Mace Windu is not one? You would think Mace would be.
Yeah, Mace, I mean, well, I guess...
That's a little disappointing.
That's true.
Luminara and Barriss, Kelleran Beck, Shakti, Eth Koth, Kit Fisto, OG Qui-Gon, Ayla, Jedi Consular, Jedi Knight Guardian. God, make her useful. That would be awesome. Right? Imogun D, and I don't know if I said Kelleran Beck, but I'll say it again.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
He's in there too.
So it's to take these Jedi that don't necessarily all have a home. Like Qui-Gon, we know what to do with Qui-Gon, right? But a lot of these other guys are like competitive. I mean, Kit Fisto, sure, in the raid.
Yeah.
Plo Koon, yeah, when he had a Datacron, you know. But this is going to give them some kind of use. And you think about, okay, so who's missing? Like I said, maybe there's a legendary Mace coming.
Or I was thinking a legendary, like a maybe. Well, true, it's not a legendary.
There's already a legendary Yoda.
Yeah, well, that's what I was gonna say. Is like, man, it'd be awesome if it's another Yoda, but he's already
and not
Grand
being
Master.
on it is kind of stupid too. I think he, yeah.
I mean, because if it's a legendary, that means they're gonna probably have to be at least 4. I mean, in most cases, I think the minimum they've had in the past to unlock, yeah. So I mean,
sure.
Starkiller had 4. I mean,
Afra had 4 as well, I believe.
4 or 5 is going to be
there's
the
a
piece.
recent. Oh, Balin Skull was 4, wasn't he?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So, oh, man. Okay. So, we were talking beforehand. on our DOF chat, we were just going through all the Oppo Rancisis, Even Peel, Coleman Cadge, Coleman Trevor, all these just ridiculous Jedi, and Yaddle.
I know Yaddle. We gotta get Yaddle in there.
Maybe.
I was wondering, what about a light side Dooku?
Ooh, interesting. I could see that someday.
If they're going episode 3, then I would say definitely not. But what if?
Yeah.
I mean, because they have some of the some of the additional things on Disney Plus that you could kind of see a few of those episodes, seeing Dooku being not so a good Dooku, but kind of fun. Yeah. So that would be interesting.
Naughty Dooku. Yeah. No, I think the more I think about it, if this is episode 3 centric, I think it's got to be Mace.
Does he? I think it's got to be a Mace.
Well, I mean, like, what other Jedi like Vanguardish character would matter around episode 3? Yoda, but like I said, there's already a legendary. Mace, like, I mean, I feel like I'm good on Mace. There is a Mace. He's good. We're fine. But like, I suppose there could be a legendary Mace, and I certainly don't think it's going to be Yaddle.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, who knows? I mean, not as the legendary, but yeah, that's gonna. I mean, it's kind of fun. I mean, weirdly enough, I do think that there's a lot of good Jedi in this game, but on the other side, it still doesn't feel like the Jedi are the best in this game.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of great stuff, but...
I mean, even like a Jedi Master Luke team, which is really the best all Jedi team out there, it's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, it does some things, but it's not good on defense, and it's not particularly great on offense. It's good on PvE, like territory battles. It's great, but all right, this is gonna hurt, man. All right.
Yeah.
This is the regular Jocasta Nu, when she's just fighting just regular old Jocasta.
Just her.
So her basic is an Omicron. Whew. That's crazy. No, it's not. It says basic and Omicron. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Basic is called By the Book, and you deal special damage to target enemy if they had defense down or tenacity down. Inflict that debuff on all enemies for 1 turn. Gain crit damage up for 1 turn. Special 1 is called Shh, Quiet. This has a cooldown of 4. If all allies are Jedi Vanguard, dispel all buffs on all enemies. Excellent. Deal special damage to target enemy, gain speed up for 1 turn, and reduce the cooldown of It Does Not Exist by 10. Special 2 is called It Does Not Exist. Cooldown is 20. Hachi Machi. All right. This is gain 50% crit chance, crit damage, and 5 siphon for the rest of the battle, and 100% speed and tenacity for 1 turn. Daze all enemies for 1 turn. Transform into Jocasta Nu rifle.
Just feels weird.
This ability starts on cooldown and can only be used once per battle and can't be evaded or resisted. This ability can only be used if all allies are Jedi Vanguard, and both By the Book and Shh are tier 6 or above. This is basically, that's her transform move. She just pulls a rifle out of a little box and turns into Jocasta Nu rifle. She has a unique called Jedi Archivist. Jocasta Nu has plus 25% max protection, increased to 50% if all allies are Jedi Vanguard at the start of battle, and is immune to protection disruption and can't be revived. At the start of her turn, Inflict tenacity down until the end of her turn against the last enemy to inflict a debuff on her. I love that. Pettiness. If this is the second time this has occurred on the same enemy in this encounter and she has Jocasta Nu rifle, they are exposed. Inflict defense down until the end of her turn against the last enemy to damage her. If this is the second time this has occurred on the same enemy this encounter and she's Jocasta Nu rifle, they also get slapped with vulnerable. I love this. She is spiteful. Whenever she attacks an exposed enemy, she recovers 20% protection. Whenever she recovers protection, gains 10% offense stacking for the rest of the encounter. Whenever she or an enemy gains foresight, dispel it. She gains deflective ward, which can't be dispelled until she receives damage. Recovers 20% protection and gains 20% turn meter once per turn. Holy smokes. Do I have to scroll really far to see what that defensive ward thing is? I think I do. I don't know where it is. There's so many words. It's
a long one. Like I said, it's a double kit.
Yeah, it can't be dispelled. Okay. Unique 2 is called Chief Librarian. When Jocasta Nu transforms, she loses the abilities by the book and quiet, and it does not exist, and gains 3 new abilities. This, I love it. Indiana Jones reference. It belongs in a museum.
There you go.
Deal special damage to target enemy. If they had defense down or tenacity down, inflict that debuff on all enemies for 1 turn. Gain crit damage up for 1 turn. Cool. Yep. Zeta upgrade is, while she's Jocasta Nu rifle, if they had defense down, expose, or tenacity down, inflict that debuff on all enemies for 1 turn, and she gains the opposite buff for 1 turn. If they had vulnerable, deal additional damage based on 10% of her max protection. Then recover 25% protection, gain 5 siphon until the end of the encounter. Man, I'm not going to pretend. You don't need to know. You don't need to know. I'm not going to pretend to know what that is. I'm just going to say this does some pretty cool stuff.
In like a year, you'll be able to see it.
Yeah, I just
mean, it's a while.
Sometimes with some character, you just kind of know, like, oh, this is the move that does a lot of damage, or this is the one that like gives me some buffs.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that one is. The Omicron upgrade is while in Grand Arena, if she's Jocasta Nu rifle, on her turn, grant each Jedi Vanguard ally every dispellable buff she has for 1 turn. Hey, she has a special called My Turn. If all allies are Jedi Vanguard, dispel all buffs on all enemies. Deal special damage to target enemy and gain speed up for 1 turn. With the Zeta, if she's Jocasta Nu rifle, deal bonus true damage equal to 100% of her current protection to target enemy. Love it. Which can't be evaded, then lose all current protection. Jocasta Nu siphons max protection from the target enemy, which can't be resisted. If the target enemy is defeated by this, gain max protection equal to the target enemy's max protection. Gain 100% bonus protection for 1 turn. So basically, I mean, just massive damage and a boatload of protection.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The Omicron for Grand Arena is if all allies are Jedi Vanguard and she's Jocasta Nu rifle, dispel all debuffs on all allies, set the target enemy's max health to 65, excluding Galactic Legends and raid bosses, until the start of their turn. 65.
Right.
It's basically a cute way of saying 1.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna die if they get hit. Order 65, apparently, was the opposite of 66. It's Palpatine's the bad guy. Get him. Interesting. Then there's a special called It's Up to You. It's up to you now. Deal special damage equal to 50% of her max protection to all enemies, which might just be a lot. If enemies are defeated, Jedi Vanguard allies recover 100% health and protection, and all enemies are breached for 2 turns, which can't be evaded or resisted. Is this what I just read again? Or is this, I don't even understand.
It's just a lot.
I read through part of this earlier. I didn't finish it. Because, obviously. Post-transformation, it just lists them all again. It belongs in a museum, deal special damage to target enemy. If they had defense down, expose or tenacity down, inflict that. She gains the opposite. If they had vulnerable, deal additional. Yeah, this is weird formatting.
I mean, they decided to have 2 in 1, so I mean, that's what happened.
I already read it.
They used all their budget on her, so they couldn't do anything for Hunter too.
Yeah, I mean, good golly.
I mean, it's going to be interesting, and I love the fact that it is something that just no one thought really was going to happen, and it is kind of fun to say, okay, what's going to happen next? And again, we have what? It's another month before we get to the next conquest, and so, I mean, another 3 conquests before she's unlocked. I mean, you really are looking at a lot farther down the line for this character.
Yeah. Yeah. Jeez, oh Pete. That's nuts. All right, so I'm excited for her. She's going to be plug and play on a Keller and Beck team, or, experiment with other Jedi, I'm sure.
Yeah, sure.
But it's what else is coming that is even more exciting for me. If she's like the lifter for something, and honestly, she doesn't look like overpowered. She just looks like fun.
Yeah. I just wonder if she's going to be a glass cannon.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know, all that bonus protection, I could see her stacking that up and getting pretty ridiculous, but we will see. All right, I think that's about a show right there.
Yeah,
I think.
It's a
we
little
don't
bit.
really have to go over Grand Arena. I won 2, lost 1,
Yeah. 1-1, lost 2.
So we doing things. Jeez, I guess. Look, I'm exhausted, but I guess we should go over who we're grinding.
I guess so.
Might as well.
Yeah. Can't end without it, right?
So fine, here we go. Who you grinding?
Oh, jeez, man. Guess I have I have to talk about myself with this. So yes, Ahsoka, we got the next one in the line of Miss Hera now is going to be farmable. Now, after doing a little bit of Cantina with her, only got 3, so we went from 43 out of 65 up to 46 out of 65. So we're making some plays. Now, Pad Sabine, she went from 51 out of 65 up to 23 out of 85. So she's getting there. Hu Yang, 36 out of 65 up to 63 out of 65. It always does feel good to get that next star.
Always. That's the sweet little treat.
I know, right? It's
after
just
all that work.
Those mini victories that you get. Now for Balin, I am officially ready to go. Marak, whatever you want to call him, went from R5 to Relic 7, so he's officially done. Worked on some mods for him too, so he's going to be... I haven't actually taken a look at the event yet. I'm going to wait, we got about another 2 months probably before that happens. Because I think basically it's on a 3-month cycle, so I think it would be probably right there around April. But yeah, so pretty much all set there. Now for my miscellaneous pieces to it, really, I'm not even grinding that much. It feels kind of weird. Punishing one, we went from 70 out of 85 up to 4 out of 100, so 6-star on that case. Funny story with that is I'm like, all right, I'm not going anywhere in Fleet Arena, so I'm going to go through and do my punishing one in here. I forgot to change the my actual capital ship, and so that didn't work very well for me because I still use Profundity in it, and then I realized, man, I lost that battle, and why am I dropping so far? Oh, it's because I have profundity in there with a bunch of bounty hunters. So don't do that. Like, I was thinking, like, the benefit of this show is like, we're not saying that we're going to be the greatest thing ever in the world and telling you exactly how to do stuff, but I will say, if you do use the profundity with a bunch of bounty hunters, you will fall. So,
according to our data set, that's a pretty bad result. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, I can't even say that 100% qualifies as a full grind, but I got 1-2 relic levels in a week, right? So, you know,
something. Sure.
So, yes. So that's my week grind. So I definitely want to go through and hear a little bit more on your side of it. So we got to finish it off, this episode, with who you grinded.
I'll tell you what, I feel like a big spender. Real big spender here.
Oh, yeah?
Because I just made some decisions this week. Padawan Sabine went from 37 up to 59 out of 65. Hu Yang went from 0 up... Is that right? I don't think that's right. Maybe it is. Yeah, 0 up to 20 out of 85. I can't trust my... Yeah, that's right. General Syndulla went from 50 up to 58 out of 85. She's the one that I bought multiple packs for because she was the last one released, and I thought she's the one that is probably going to be the bottleneck. So, of course, she gets released on Cantina.
Of course. That's how it works, right?
My Balin Skull grind is, it's just down to Marok. Marok.
I know. We just got to choose one and go with it, because, I mean...
Mark.
I mean,
Mark.
At some point, we're just not going to be talking about him, but still.
So, Marky Mark went from 37 up to 58 out of 100. I got Punishing One from 53 out of 85 up to 3 out of 100. I did it right before roster lock. I got it up to 6 stars. So that if I find myself in an Executor Mirror match, I've got a little better chance now.
Yeah.
Because that Punishing One, it matters. Every little bit matters. I've seen people talking about Relic 9 Dengar. Like, I mean, I don't want to.
Yeah.
I make a lot of goofy decisions, but I don't want to do that one.
I won't, but...
Knowing my luck, they're going to do some, like, all those Relic 9 Sith Assassins that are just, like, worthless, you know?
Yeah.
For no good reason, I took Chewie from Relic 6 to Relic 7.
Because you can.
I mean, that whole team's Relic 7 now, so... all right.
I mean, dang, yeah, you had a good week.
I mean, I did some things, and now I'm broke. I took Marin from Relic 3 up to Relic 5. I can't really even explain why. I just did. I wanted to use her in territory battles for Night Sisters, and then I realized, oh, we've got, like, Great Mothers and stuff now. I don't even need to. So that was kind of a waste. I'll own up to that. But, you know, we like Marin, so who cares? Yeah. Hoth Rebel Soldier from Gear 12 up to Relic 3 because I hate looking at green pluses. 6 of them have now been vanquished. Sith Eternal Emperor went from Relic 8 to Relic 9, bringing all of my Galactic Legends to Relic 9.
Which is amazing.
It feels pretty good, you know? Like, there's no lingering, like, the top of my roster is underdeveloped. No, they're there. Unlocked Darkside Ray, and I only had enough for 2 Zetas. So over the next 24 hours, I should be able to fix that.
Oh.
Get her that last Zeta. I did give her 1 Omicron as well. And I forget which one it is. It's the one that, like, makes everyone undefeatable. Yeah, in Grand Arena, while she's untargetable, First Order allies can't be defeated. It's, like, I feel good about it, but I used her against Balin Skull and just melted. Like, there wasn't a chance that, like, my people were going to get defeated. No. It was just murder unleashed. And I think because Kylo could smoke Baylan Skoll before Rey. So .gg is going to be interesting to see how people are using her, because I think it elevates Slicker to, we're used to using him to beat Baylan or to beat Jabba. Now we're really going to see, especially now that Grand Arena has started and she has Omicrons for Grand Arena, we're really going to see what kind of mayhem she can unleash. I'm looking forward to that. Datacrons, man, we finished Conquest, and I got a few more, but I did not get a PI. And maybe I'll re-roll something. But as it stands, I do have enough for a re-roll. Let's do one right now.
There you go.
Come on.
Oh, in
PI.
There you go.
Okay, we got PI. Oh, thank God. All right, that's all we got for you this week. It may not be the best advice, but at least we didn't recommend you attempt to fully understand Jocasta yet. You've got a few months.
Yeah.
If you want to continue the conversation, join our Discord server. It's linked in the show description. Become a real live Jawa by supporting us on Patreon, and share your thoughts by leaving us a podcast review. Big thanks also go out to Pabu Appa and swgoh.gg and swgohevents.com for providing all the hard data we misinterpret weekly. Thanks for tuning in, and may the Force and RNG be with you.